Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. This is Joe Roscoe, co-host of MFLH Pod. If you like the podcast, you've been listening along now. I think we're 12 episodes, no, 13 episodes in. If you've been following along and you haven't rated, subscribed, left a comment, that'd be greatly appreciated. Would really help us out spreading the word about Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. If you haven't checked us out on our website, you can go to movefastlift.heavy.com. All things fitness apparel, fitness training. So yeah, we got online training program. We have a physical gym in Long Island. And of course, we have the apparel globally that people are repping everywhere. So we appreciate you for that. All right, let's bring on the man, the founder of Move Fast Lift Heavy. He can tell us a little bit about our next apparel drop coming up. Welcome to the pod, Christian Harris.
What up? What up?
What up? What up? How we doing?
Doing great. It's Thursday, another Thursday. It's still summer, but it's got nice fall vibes here in New York right now. It's like 70, perfect weather. Kids are in school. We're just working from home right now, uninterrupted. It's a great day.
Yeah, we can hear you living that life. You know, you're outside right now. I can hear some birds chirping in the background. If you're watching on YouTube, everyone, you can see that Christian's, outside basking in the sun. And I was laughing before we started because I was just in a yoga class last night, and they're doing like these like sound bowls. I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's like Zen. They rub the edges of the bowls, and you're in.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're in Shavasana at the end, just basically trying to sleep. And it got a little weird. It was a little intense. The bowl player got a bit like into it, and she was kind of really playing the bowls a little too loud. But I started to hear the birds chirping, and I was like, oh, I could have used this in Shavasana last night instead of the bowls. But what do you think? You do outdoor yoga today?
Not quite, but might get a little stretch or something in. Something quick.
All right. What's coming up this Monday for our apparel drop?
Monday we have the sports club collection, just inspired off of like university, like that typical, heavy block lettering with the university crest, emblems, stuff like that. So super excited for this one. It's coming Monday.
Tis the season.
Tis the season.
Well, everyone that's listening, this episode is going to drop on that Monday. So actually, if you're listening now, run to movefastliftheavy.com and get your swag ASAP.
Happy Labor Day.
That's right. Happy Labor Day. All right, why don't you bring on our guest?
So our next guest, she works for CrossFit doing partnerships. She's a type 1 diabetic, and she's probably one of the sweetest people I know. Her name is Ari Hurst. I'd like to bring her on to the show.
Hey guys, well, thank you for that intro. I'm so glad I'm here today.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah. So you recently just relocated to Denver. How's the move been?
Oh man, it's been a crazy last couple of days. I mean, I have been kind of living out of a suitcase for the last year and a half. I was most recently living in Boston and then put my stuff in storage back in November of last year and decided to go to San Diego with a former coworker, lived out there for pretty much the majority of this year, and then got a new job and decided to finally plant myself in Denver. So it's been a long journey, but I'm so excited to finally just be settled.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
So just wanted to give a quick background to our relationship. Ari is the reason why I have a Reebok partnership. So it's actually been about almost exactly a year now since I've
Yes.
formerly known Ari. I've heard about her here and there through the grapevines, and she's just one of the most sweetest people that I know. Give us a quick bio on like just your background, how you got into working for Reebok, and where you're at now.
Totally. So I found CrossFit back in 2012. At the time, like I wouldn't call myself athletic. I mean, I did cheer in college, but I had a completely different relationship with working out than I do now, and found CrossFit then and instantly drank the Kool-Aid. And I found next a job at Tough Mudder. So I got involved there and really just like loved the sports world, loved marketing. And that was based in Brooklyn. So I was living in New York for a while. And, I was after a couple of years, I was like, I just am ready to get out of the city. Went home, was kind of doing some soul searching and found this job on LinkedIn with Reebok. And I was like, wow, this looks super cool. And one thing led to another, and it ended up being my total dream job. So I started as a marketing rep based in Houston. And then, my whole team kind of knew I was into CrossFit because the first rule about CrossFit is to talk about CrossFit. So was always just hyping it up. And one thing led to another, and they had offered me this position based in Boston to work on the CrossFit partnership. And my role kind of evolved multiple times over that. But where I left off was that I was managing the athletes. And so I worked there for almost 4 years and most recently decided to make the jump to CrossFit.
Awesome. That's a pretty fun job. And now you said you're doing partnerships with CrossFit. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so it's similar to the job that I was doing at Reebok. At Reebok, I was managing partnerships with individuals, whereas now at CrossFit, I'm managing partners with sponsors. So my job basically is building relationships with the sponsors, making sure that CrossFit is delivering upon all the things that we agreed upon, and making sure that we're forming these beneficial partnerships and, the sponsors are meeting their goals.
Awesome. Now, if somebody actually wanted to get a job doing something like that, like what prerequisites would one need to be able to do something similar to that?
It's hard to say. When I first started off, I didn't really have any prerequisites. I mean, no one does, right? But I knew it started with passion. And I think everyone should just follow what they're most passionate about. And I talked with so many people. I had so many coffee chats. I was hitting up people on LinkedIn and just say, please talk to me. Like, I just want to learn about what you do. I want to learn about the industry. And a lot of these big companies like CrossFit, like Reebok, like Tough Mudder, it can be a little bit intimidating in understanding like what these different departments do, right? And so I just wanted to know like what I do best, because I think like if you find something that you love, you're gonna be good at it, right? So I think it's just understanding what you're passionate about and then following the niche from there.
Tell us about that first. Tell us about that first day, whether it was Tough Mudder, Reebok, or CrossFit, when you walk into the workspace and you're feeling like, oh, I'm a bit overwhelmed right now. Like, how did you settle in, or what did you hold tight to that kept you moving forward in that first day and week and month?
Oh my goodness. I literally, when I interviewed at Reebok, they had this huge, like massive office in the Seaport. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it through the interview process because I was so nervous. Like my hands were shaking. It was like so sweaty. Like I was just freaking out. But I think it's just like holding on to, like, I think it's just getting in there, like having conversations, talking with people, like be upfront with them, be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Right. Like, and just try to like learn from your colleagues. I think that's what kept me going.
If you don't know, seek out the answers from
Exactly.
someone
Ask for
who
help.
does.
Definitely.
For sure.
I am like the biggest advocate for asking for help because I do not have all the answers.
And I think that's a reason why you've had so much success, is that you're not afraid to ask for help. And I think pride gets in the way of a lot of people's, it hinders their success because they're afraid to ask for help. So that is a great piece of advice for those that are listening out there. If you don't know, go seek it from someone who does.
And I think it's okay to be transparent, right? Like, there was multiple times that I tell you, like, I don't have the answer, but let me come back and I will find it for you, and that's
sure.
okay.
So yeah, the Reebok campus is very it's very big. It's very elaborate. There's a lot going on there. I've never been to CrossFit's HQ. What is that like? Have you been there?
I have been one time. So when I came out to Colorado about 2.5 months ago, looking for
And that's
places.
relatively new, right? Sorry to interrupt. It's relatively
Yeah.
new there, right?
It's very new. So I'm only 2.5 months into the job. So I, again, may not have all the answers, but came out here looking for a place and was able to drop into the office based in Boulder. It was really cool. It was very futuristic. It was smaller, but had a very open workspace. You could tell people were, collaborating and working together. So, a lot of our days are spent on, video calls. So there's not a ton of conference rooms there quite yet, but there could be a bigger office in the future. And so I'll kind of be bouncing back and forth between the office and from home, but that's one of the things that I loved about this job is the flexibility.
And I'm sure there's a pretty nice gym there.
Well, there is a small little model gym in the office, but we do have some great benefits of being able to go to a CrossFit gym and, get those benefits of working out for free. So that's super nice.
Oh yeah, very cool. So I mentioned earlier in the podcast that you're a type 1 diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 8 going on 9 years old. And, I think a lot of people don't understand, there's still this misconception when you hear diabetes, you might think mostly of obesity and, things like that. But there's multiple types of diabetes. There's type 1, there's type 2, there's gestational. So type 1 diabetes is actually an autoimmune disease. It's, not caused by lifestyle factors. So found out that I had that at a super young age. And so what that means is that my body no longer produces insulin, which is a hormone that gives you energy. So pretty much anytime I eat or I'm going to have to give insulin shots. And then working out also has different factors on that blood sugar. So it's definitely one of the most humbling journeys that I've been on, and it'll continue to be that way. But that's a little bit of background about that.
What are some lifestyle things that you need to always make sure that you're cognizant of, being a type 1 diabetic?
Yeah, being a type 1, it's always a roller coaster with your blood sugars. I mean, anything that you eat can affect your blood sugar. The type of workout can affect your blood sugar. When I do weightlifting, the effects on the blood sugar are different than when I'm doing a long endurance workout. So that's been a learning curve. If you're drinking, that could, play an effect on that of having alcohol, depending on amount of sleep or stress. All of those things come into play when you're managing your blood sugar. So I actually wear a continuous glucose monitor to manage my blood sugars, which has been amazing. It actually goes so it's a device that I wear on my body, and then it takes those blood sugars via Bluetooth and sends them to my cell phone, which is incredible compared to
Technology.
how things used to be. Yeah, that's the most mind-boggling part is that when I was first diagnosed, I mean, nothing like this existed. There was no apps that told you how to count carbs, like MyFitnessPal. We were going to Barnes and Noble and buying these nutrition books of okay, I just ate this, how many carbs does it have in it? And I had this old school calculator where I was calculating up how many carbs that I ate and trying to do this long division on a piece of printer paper. So just and now all of this is available on my phone, which is the best.
That's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure you have to have some sort of funny story about something you ate and how like you didn't realize how it was going to affect you. Like, do you have anything like that?
I have so many stories. I mean, I remember, your blood sugar being a diabetic can go really low, which means I actually need sugar. I'm like shaking, I'm getting really sweaty. And then on the opposite side, it can go really high, which means I need insulin and I'm get pretty irritable. I actually get irritable on both ends. But, I remember my best friend, I was over at her house and I just had all she had, like all of the sugar that she had was this funfetti cake. And my blood sugar was so low. And so I'm just over there, just like eating all of this funfetti cake. And she's like, oh my goodness, like what is going on? I actually remember another story when my blood sugar was low at the CrossFit Games back in 2019. And I was on the Fit barge. I was so low. There was no juice, no sugar on there. I was trying to get back to land to get something. And let me tell you, finding carbs at the CrossFit Games or sugar can be very difficult. And so I remember getting back and being like, oh my gosh, does anyone have anything for me to boost my blood sugar? And the best thing someone could offer me was strawberries, which don't really have any carbs or sugar in them.
You'd probably have to eat 5 pounds of strawberries.
Right. So that was definitely a fun one. Other things that people do is, asking me what my continuous glucose monitor is. Like I get these crazy looks at the gym, like, what is on your arm? Like,
who's the girl wearing a beeper?
Exactly. Like they don't know what it is, but I think it's entertaining for them to kind of stare.
With all with all the inconveniences or headaches that it might cause, how has being a type 1 diabetic enhanced your life or made you better?
Yeah, I love that question. I really think that having this condition has completely shaped my life. And I would even argue my career path, right? Because this condition is so heavily focused on health and fitness that I think that's one of the things that kept me, like inspired me to try CrossFit, was like to get healthier. And I definitely think it's helped me. I think it teaches you to be patient, right? Because every day, like something isn't going to go perfect. There's always opportunities to learn. So I think that's great. I also think that it takes a lot of hard work and dedication. I mean, this is a 24/7 job, 100%, because it's something that doesn't go away. It's something that I deal with every minute of every hour of every day. So I would say those 3 things.
Whew.
Christian, should we segue on to our next topic?
Sure.
You guys had kind of like skipped over like the whole, you became a Reebok athlete and you helped and blah blah blah.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Can we get more backstory on that?
About why I signed Christian?
Yeah. I'm interested.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. Reebok's roster had gone through several changes over the years. At one point, the mission was sign everyone, right? And then we became more prescriptive about who we were signing. And then when Reebok no longer was the title sponsor of the games, I think we wanted to show the continued investment and commitment to the athletes, the sport, and the overall community. And so they really need to reevaluate, okay, what are we looking for? I wanted to fill in the gaps of what we didn't have. And I think what's important when signing an athlete is to look at, what kind of consumer we're already reaching. I don't want to sign someone that another athlete is already bringing to the table, if that makes sense. And I think what was so unique about Christian is you're so authentic. Your swag, your athleticism, your potential to podium, your creativity, I think just really stood out in the community of CrossFitters. And so, that was kind of my reason to bring you on. And
I'm blushing over here.
Yeah, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I know how much he probably is like cringing through this right now, Christian.
No, but seriously, fantastic fit. So pumped that you were one of my last signs.
I've heard Christian. I've heard you compared to the Derek Jeter of CrossFit.
Listen, I'll take that as a huge compliment. He's one of my favorite players of all time, so I'll take that for sure.
I have the notion to like pinning you into this corner because this is very entertaining. But Ari, it's so true, right? It's like this guy has like a background in formerly doing his own hip hop music. He's so trendy with his fashion and the brand that he's created, and yeah, he's just not your typical. I get up, I work out 4 times a day, and that's it.
Yeah, the ultimate.
I appreciate that, y'all. So, what would you say to like any up and coming CrossFit athlete or influencer in general on how to potentially maybe get signed by a company like Reebok, right? I get DMs all the time like, how did you get on with Reebok or this company? It's like, I don't know. What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have this they might think that becoming a sponsored athlete is all about your Instagram followers or being the best of the best. And sure, some of those things like come into play, because you obviously want to be able to reach a wide audience. But I also think being your authentic self is one of the best things that you can do. You know what I mean? Like, just be you. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's so true.
Listen, most of the advice that works the best is the cheesy or the cliche saying. So, I mean, if you're telling me that that's what works, then that's what works.
Exactly. Yeah.
You guys heard it here first.
We will find you. I promise. The brands will definitely find you. So just keep being stand out from the crowd. And I think, whether it is like standing out from the crowd on being on the podium or having this, huge following or like doing something different that someone else does, you'll get your name out there.
Sweet.
Yeah. What's the CrossFit Cowboy's name? What's his name?
Sean.
You guys know?
Yeah.
He like you were saying, like you have to be good. Like you have to be a legitimate athlete. You can't just be like whatever. But he is a gifted athlete, but hasn't really made a run at like, oh, he might whatever podium or once. But he's so unique. Like he has his own thing going. I think of Conor McGregor too in MMA. Like if Conor McGregor wasn't how he carried himself and who he actually was, like I don't think just his accolades as far as an athlete would have taken him to where he is. So yeah, I agree with just embracing who you are and being authentic with that and trying to highlight it in as many ways as you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's most sports and throughout most generations have like that iconic standout player. Like one that jumps out to me is Dennis Rodman. I mean, just the personality, the hair, the bad boy persona, like just everything about it it's iconic. You can't, I can't forget it.
Yeah, you're right.
Have you guys seen The Last Dance? I mean, documentary?
I've watched some of it. I haven't finished it.
You got to get to the part, like towards the end, I think they're talking about Rodman and just, as a kid growing up in the 90s, like you don't know all the backstories of what the players did behind the scenes, So to see it from that perspective and then like see what Rodman was really like hearing it from other players, it's insane.
Yeah.
Crazy. But that's off tangent there.
I'll have to finish it and report back.
Definitely. I think I'd like to get into some Spitfire.
Let's go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there'll be a good intermission. Do the Spitfire, and then I have a couple. But yeah,
All right, let's get into a little Spitfire round here. Basically, I'm going to ask you 5 questions,
Oh,
and you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind here.
ooh, I'm nervous.
All right, would you rather move fast or lift heavy?
Lift heavy.
Okay. Coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee, iced.
Current favorite sneaker?
I gotta go. I've tried the Noble Ripstopper at the games, and they did not let me down on my feet. So I do like those a lot.
There you go. Favorite track at the moment?
Ooh, song? That's a tough one. Mm. I don't know. I gotta come back to that.
All right. If you had to pick one piece of equipment to work out with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
1000% a barbell.
I like it.
Yes.
You're too nice, Christian. You're gonna let her pass on the song question. You can't, there's no passing in this game.
I'm
We
like,
can
I
come
don't
back to
know.
it.
Like,
We can come back to it before the show ends.
there we go.
Oh,
Okay.
Ari, come on. You get in the car and you're like, oh yeah, this one's my jam. Or you're in the gym and something comes on, you're like, oh, that's the one. That's the one.
It depends on the vibe that I'm in because like my playlist will vary between like rap and hip hop, and then it's like, oh, okay, like cute country, you know? Like, it's just like
Yeah.
completely opposite. Like definitely when I'm in the gym, I can't listen to country. I know this is a huge debate about people that can work out with country. I don't know how you guys feel about that. You can?
I don't
Yeah.
I don't feel about that.
I like to lift to country, and I sometimes like to do like your classic CrossFit Open 20-minute workout type of one to country, because you already internally are so like frantic inside that outside source of something a little bit more chill is a nice juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Christian, Ian Berger, big country guy when he was training. Did he ever make?
I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Today I had on Drake and a little bit some other like harder stuff, and then all of a sudden I had transitioned to like a Justin Bieber remix, and this is like 12-year-old Justin Bieber at some point. And I was stuck on the Concept Tour bike, and this guy came in for open gym that I did not know. And I'm just thinking like he's walking into me listening to 12-year-old Justin Bieber right now.
You can't go wrong with Bieber. I mean, I definitely have Bieber fever, but love the new album.
For
Christian,
sure.
I know when I've been at your gym, there was a lot of Drake, which I don't mind at all. I've been to several
Of course.
Drake concerts, so
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, all good stuff. But sometimes I'll mix it up and I'll do like a reggae station.
Okay.
Like I'll throw on some Sublime. I can only do it when it's summertime though. You know, little outdoor vibe, some Sublime radio. Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Ari, I know that you being. Oh, who's got the train coming? Is that you, Christian? The train's coming for you?
That's me.
No, it's okay. No more birds. It's train horns now. So Ari, I know you're there in Colorado. You're amongst CrossFit HQ. I know there's things you all keep in your pocket and things you could put on the table. I'm just curious of like what the future holds. Whatever you can say about that. Just like there definitely is turning of new leaves, whether it's the layout of the games, whether it's whatever. Like, what are you excited about that you could share, or that that the listeners would find interesting?
Yeah, I mean, I think the company as a whole is growing rapidly and expansively. So I think that's really exciting. There's going to be more manpower, more bandwidth to do great things. My team in particular, the partnerships team, it actually didn't exist before a couple months ago, and I think that's really exciting to have a team dedicated to finding and servicing new partners. So I think the sport can grow that way. I think, we're trying to grow the sport. So I think that's mostly what I'm excited about is just watching. I know I've been doing CrossFit for more than a decade at this point, and seeing where it was then to now is drastic. And I'm excited to see another decade from now how it evolves. I think it'll become even more professional as well.
That's awesome.
There's a new bid out for the next CrossFit Games City, right? How can I get them to? I'm in Miami right now. What do I need to do to get them to come to Miami? So who do I need to send, like I don't know, chocolates to, or some type of
It's probably above my pay grade, but I'll take the candy.
Okay, all right. So I send that to you. I'll send that to you. That way next time, that way when you're at the games, wherever it is, it's not just strawberries that you're relying on, but you'll be like, you know what? That random dude Joe that I talked on that podcast, he's got my back. These candies coming in handy.
Win-win situation. But yeah, I mean, it's still up in the air right now. We'll be in Madison for another year. So yeah, that's all I can say.
I did see a couple of articles that it could potentially be in Miami. One of the reasons is because I think the mayor is like really pushing for it, because Miami is such a fitness hub, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely, that's not something that's in my realm, but I think so many things like come into play, like right when you're choosing somewhere new. It's centrally located, money, things like that. So I think there's a lot to consider, a lot to be figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I gotta say is August and July in Miami, that's gotta be pretty brutal.
Yeah. Another thing to take into consideration.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that go on behind the scenes that people have no idea about. It's always during like when football season is approaching, but I always thought like a campus setting would be ideal, just because you have so many different facilities in a small area, and that's kind of what Madison had provided so nicely.
Yeah. What do you think about Madison? Like competing there? Like, I mean, I liked being there.
I thought it was awesome. Like, just like Joe's saying, like it's a college town, right? So there's so much going on there. When you think of when I thought of Madison, that's not what I thought of. But it's like a nice little hipstery type town, like a Hoboken or like a Brooklyn or something like that.
You're right.
It's pretty dope. That being said, hopefully maybe they can bring it to New York. Come to Hofstra.
That would be awesome.
Well, Christian, as we round the bend here on our episode, do you have any like last remarks, questions for Ari as we wrap this up?
Still never got that favorite track.
Oh yeah, we didn't get it.
Let's see. I was hoping I avoided it. We'll go with the Justin Bieber song. We'll go with "Hold On." There we go.
Okay, "Hold On" from Justin Bieber. All right, I'm down with it.
I'll allow it.
There we go.
You'll allow it. All right. Well, Ari, it was a pleasure having you on the episode. Thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit more. Thanks for entertaining some of our silliness. We appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today.
Thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure.
All right. See you later. Oh, she was lovely. So nice to meet her.
Yeah. Told you. Sweetest person I know.
Yeah, she's good people for sure. All right, another one in the books. I in a different way, I really enjoyed this one when we got to kind of spotlight you and make you a little embarrassed about bragging on you a bit. So that was nice.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
we have a new cycle next week, right? With MFLH online training.
Yep. So if you are listening to us live on Monday, we start a new cycle. We are going to be getting after the Olympic lifts, not like what we've done in the past with a lot of supersets and things like that. This will be more traditional. But you will definitely see a big focus on lower back strength. Strong backs don't crack.
Okay, you heard it first. I don't know if we'll put that one on a t-shirt, but it'll make us laugh. It'll make us laugh. Those supersets were just awful. Just awful, those supersets. Man, yeah. I'm glad those
but
are
a
over.
lot of volume coming up, though.
Oh, as to be expected.
Yeah, that's good, though.
All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Hey, can I tease it? All right. Perhaps our next guest might be coming to us from South America. We'll just leave it there. So tune in to see who that might be. All right. Later, Sage. Bye.
All right.
All right. There it is. Another Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast episode. I'm Joe Roscoe. That was Christian Harris. Special thanks to Ari for joining us on the pod. And yeah, if you haven't yet, please rate, subscribe, leave a comment. It would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, later.
My name is Christian Harris. I'm a CrossFit athlete, coach, trainer, and founder of Move Fast Lift Heavy. MFLH has always been more than just apparel. It's a way to train, it's a lifestyle to live, and now we've leveled up that mantra by creating our online training platform. Move Fast Lift Heavy now provides personal online programming. The programming can be done either in a gym, with a garage gym setup, or even from the comfort of your own home with a dumbbell or even at body weight. This isn't just your typical workout block. You'll have unlimited access to our coaching staff to ask questions and submit technique videos. MFLH has always been more than just an apparel line. Now you can be a part of the team. Click the link to get started. Let's get to work.